What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This? This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 and either build them or fix them depending on how they rank. Now today we are bringing you a new subclass and also a new setup. So as you can see behind me, we have a brand new background. We're not using the green screen anymore. You saw the new thumbnail. There'll be some more new surprises as the video goes on. So I'm very excited to start this new chapter in the channel, and I'm glad that you all are here for it as well. If you're excited to be talking about the Grave Domain Cleric today, go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. As you can see, most people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so please don't be one of those people. Help us to reach our goal of 1,000 by the end of this year. I think it is very much achievable, and I can do that with your help. Of course, also make sure to click the bell so you're notified whenever new videos are uploaded, and share the videos with your friends. So the Grave Domain Cleric is a really interesting take on the Cleric. So unlike the Death Domain Cleric, which seeks to bring things back from the dead, the Grave Domain seeks to help things along in getting to the grave, in dying, and also preventing things that aren't supposed to get there from getting there. And so it has a really cool dichotomy in how it works, and it has some really interesting features that are somewhat transformative to the Cleric kit. Is that in a good way? Well, let's find out. First up, as always, is our expanded spell list, and this one is pretty interesting. So we actually get half of our spells being new to the Cleric list, and half of them being already on the Cleric list. Now, in fairness, the half that are still on the list that we retain are not bad necessarily. Most of these spells are actually pretty useful, even though they're already on the list, and the ones that we get are actually pretty good as well. There are a few duds, such as Gentle Repose, which is flavorful but not necessarily the most overpowered of spells. Overall, this is a pretty solid list. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Definitely could be improved, but pretty good overall. Also at first level, we get a couple of features, and the first is Circle of Mortality. What this does is it allows us to actually roll max on healing spells whenever the target is at 0 HP. Now this is pretty nice, right? And the first thing that comes to my mind is Healing Word. Being able to pop somebody up from 0 at range. This is always a really nice thing to be able to do, and being able to just roll max is really nice. I really like that flexibility. Now, how much of a game changer is this? I don't think it's going to be a huge game changer, but we also have to consider that you aren't always going to be casting Healing Word. You could be casting something like a high-level Cure Wounds. It does not say that you have to heal them at a certain level of spell in order for this to work, so you could cast a higher level spell and just roll maximum and heal somebody for a big amount of healing and not be relying on the roll. So this feature just really scales well as long as you go really high into Cleric or multiclass into something that also gets a lot of healing spells. This can be really handy, so I like this feature quite a bit. The other feature built into this is that we are given the Spare the Dying cantrip, and it also is modified to a 30-foot range, and it can be used as a bonus action. This is very handy in making a already really nice cantrip into something that is all that much better. It being a 30-foot range and a bonus action really is helpful in freeing up your action, and it helps to save your friends who have been downed. You know, if you want to make sure that your party does not fail those saving throws, but you really need to throw out a important spell on your action or use your Channel Divinity or whatever the case may be, this will allow you to free that up, and I really like that versatility. Overall, these two features combined, this goes out to a 9 out of 10. This is a really fantastic feature and gives you a lot of bang for your buck. But this isn't even the only first level feature, so let's look at the other one. Also, first level, we get Eyes of the Grave, and what this does is it allows us to detect undead within 60 feet of us that are not behind full cover. So this is situational. It can be nice if you are dealing with a lot of undead and you think that there are some nearby. You can go ahead and use this, and you get enough uses per day to probably last you as long as you need to, but it's a pretty nice feature, albeit pretty situational. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 because of how situational it is. It will be nice when you need it, but overall, you may not use it in a normal campaign, and you know, your mileage might vary. At level 2, we get our Channel Divinity option, and the one specific to this subclass is Path to the Grave. What this does is it allows you to pick out a creature within 30 feet of you, and the next time that someone that is allied to you hits that creature with an attack, the creature has vulnerability to that attack. That's really good. Being able to just double the damage of the next attack that hits it is kind of insane, especially when you consider that there are things like paladins and rogues out there, and that you can use this once per rest right now, and this will increase later. This is an incredible thing. So you use this and your paladin just smites like crazy. That thing's taking a ton of damage. Sneak attack damage gets doubled. You do something that maybe a champion fighter that can crit a little bit easier. This gets applied on there as well. I mean, it's kind of insane how much damage this can end up racking up against something. This is a 10 out of 10 feature. It's a really, really good option for your Channel Divinity. Absolutely worth using, and I absolutely love this feature. At level 6, we get Sentinel at Death's Door, and this is a really cool feature. First of all, the name, Sentinel at Death's Door, is a really cool name for a feature, but when we look at what this actually does, it's pretty awesome. So, when you're within 30 feet of an ally that gets crit, you can choose to use your reaction to cancel that crit. Now, this sounds situational, right? You know, you say, you know, it's only a small percentage of the time that my party is going to be crit. What is the use of having this feature? It's kind of huge, to be honest. I've seen this definitely save multiple characters' lives in the multiple Grave Domain Clerics that I have seen, and this absolutely will go nuts. When you're facing a high-level monster that then crits you because it has advantage for whatever reason on a bunch of attacks, you being able to cancel at least one of those crits can be the difference between life and death for your player characters. This is a really great feature. Is it busted? No, I don't think so. I think that it's a really nice feature. Again, it's situational because of how rare crits are, but it's really nice, especially being able to just look at your DM and say, no, that's a normal hit. That's worth a 10 out of 10, but this is more of an 8 out of 10 feature overall because of the situational value of it. At level 8, we get potent spellcasting, just like most other clerics, so we can now add our wisdom modifier to our cantrips, which is a nice little bump. Why not? So this is an 8 out of 10 feature. I'm giving this to every cleric. And then finally, at level 17, we get Keeper of Souls. What this does is when a creature dies within 30 feet of us, we can choose either ourselves or an ally that is also within 30 feet of us to regain hit points equal to the number of hit dice that the monster had. This is pretty cool, and the restriction is pretty loose. We can only use this once per turn. So, you know, if you're fighting a bunch of lackeys, you can just be kind of spamming this. Now, in fairness, lackeys are probably not going to have very many hit dice, but at this point, at level 17, who wouldn't want a spammable feature like this? I mean, and especially when you kill a big bad, it's going to have a lot of hit dice. This is very handy and can end up being a lot of healing. This is overall an 8 out of 10. You do have to be within 30 feet, so it is a little limiting in that capacity. But overall, this can end up being some really nice healing, and I think can be really impactful overall, even at really high level. So, how does the Grave Domain Cleric rank? Overall, this is a really nice cleric. I really, really like all of the features that we are given here. We get a lot of features that bolster not only ourselves, but also a way to help our allies to survive much easier. With the addition of our Spare the Dying cantrip being buffed up is always a really, really nice feature because, I mean, it's already a really good cantrip. Being able to just make it even better is really nice. Helping out our healing is great. Being able to cancel crits, being able to just lead to the destruction of your enemies with your Channel Divinity. There are so many good things to love about this cleric. Overall, this is an 8 out of 10. There's definitely a reason that Taliesin chose this for Caduceus. It is a very, very nice build, and I think that anyone who plays this would have a lot of fun. Speaking of which, we're going to build one later this week, and so make sure you are subscribed and you've clicked the bell so that you know when that video goes live. Until then, have a great week, stay safe out there, stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.